I first became aware of who she was during an ACCU conference, when during the Q&A she asked a really insightful question. I thought, this is somebody who really understands Catholicism, she really understands the church, she really understands higher education. The impact that Denise made on this institution is really something you can see not only through the programs that were created under her leadership, with her guidance, but I think especially meeting the faculty at the University of Incarnate Word and knowing that she really wanted to ensure that all of those that were affiliated with the campus understood the charism of the university and really had at the center of everything that was their concern, students and student success.
Dr. Doyle's role at UIW spanned the whole spectrum, all the way up to being the interim president. She really understands mission, and I think that she understands, regardless of how education is delivered, the obligation and the responsibility to develop a student's spiritual self is what is really paramount, as well as guiding their intellectual selves and their career. And she's a real friend. She's been a personal friend of many of the Sisters of Divine Providence, even though she was out of that congregation when she was a part of the religious life. And I really need to say that one of the things that Dr. Doyle always reminds me is that her career spans at Our Lady of the Lake University, that she started as an adjunct some 35 years ago. So we're really proud that she's part of our family also.
I first met Dr. Denise Doyle when she was teaching part-time in the Pastoral Institute at the University of the Incarnate Word, and I was the executive vice president. That day in my office, I recognized that Denise saw and cherished the value of Catholic higher education. So I think it's this authenticity, Denise's unique personality, her wit, her determination, and her hard work that she brought to bear to the culture at the university.
Whether Denise was acting as a faculty member or as an administrator, her decisions and actions were always guided by our mission. She challenged us to be innovative so that education was accessible to the diverse student population we serve. She supported a strong student success division, encouraging evidence-based projects to support curricular innovation and improve student retention. I think one of her most lasting contributions to Catholic higher education has been her leadership on the topic of hiring and mentoring for mission.
One of the things Dr. Doyle really emphasized was the transformational nature, or how we as faculty were to transform the mission from the sisters into our daily lives and into our educational practice. It meant to me that it was more than just a job. It was my vocation. Every time I saw her, I left the space, I left the conversation, I left the speech, the engagement better than when I came. Again, living that mission out, I think from a leadership perspective is probably how she influenced us the most. Like, how do you teach compassion? I mean, you have to role model it, I think. And I think that's what Dr. Doyle did.
I would like to thank the board for this honor, which comes as a particularly sweet bookend to my life in Catholic higher education. I feel truly grateful for this recognition. I have had a long and varied career at the University of the Incarnate Word, which spanned 30 years. Beginning as a faculty member, I had no idea that classroom teaching was going to be a small part of my life there, but perhaps the most consequential. Here I learned the most lasting lesson. It is all about the students. Our students are wonderful, and they have been the beginning and end of every part of my career. With administration came other forms of teaching. I worked closely with many deans and faculty and came to realize that mentoring both and helping to guide their careers was as fulfilling as teaching students. In the midst of all of this, I had an insight that became the center of so much work I have participated in. We all knew that the presence of the congregational founders of so many of our colleges and universities was declining. But I saw that the lay people who had worked closest to these religious and who had been closest in church experience to them were aging at the exact same pace. we would soon leave a vacuum of the lived knowledge which the mission and ethos of our institutions depend. It became clear that educational programming and reflective opportunities were needed to form the leadership that would replace us. I see that our ongoing efforts must bear fruit now. I hope that all of the participants who have attended the Institute at Boston College and a myriad of other such efforts across our institutions are taking on the important roles for which they were prepared. I trust that they will oversee another generation of vital Catholic education imbued with comparable commitment. My parents sent all their 9 children to Catholic schools because they valued the kind of education which in fact became the foundation of every major choice in my life. I imagine my parents cheering me on now. My husband has been my true companion and constant inspiration. I thank him for his steadfast support in all my endeavors. Father Dennis, thank you for our years of friendship and collaboration. I wish all the member schools of ACCU well and pray that God will continue to prosper our work. Thank you.